Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews, and today talking about a documentary called Boogeymen, the Killer Compilation, which came out in 2001, get a 6.1 on IMDb, and pretty much is a... Now, before I get into this movie, I gotta say, this has potential to it. It could have been good. It could have been great. The thing this movie or this documentary was lacking in was the fact that these clips, because basically what this documentary is you get 17 classic, or should I say classic horror films. Most of them are classics. Most of them are Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, stuff like that. Then you got a few stuff in there that I'm not really sure why they're in there. They're not really movies I've ever heard of before. Films like well, not The Guardian. I heard about The Guardian. But films like I'm trying to remember that one, The Ugly. I never heard of that movie before. Maybe it is a good horror movie. You know, I just haven't seen it before. But I'm not really sure why it's on here. And there's also like films like which I've heard good things about, The Guardian, which I haven't seen yet, but I've heard some good things about, and The Dentist, which I want to see. So, you know, them being on the list, I mean, granted, they're slasher movies, but there are horror movies that have, but there are slasher movies that aren't even on this list. Films like My Bloody Valentine, that's not on this list. Reanimator, I guess you could say it was sort of a slasher movie. I mean, it really didn't have a killer in it, but still, I mean, you call it Boogeymen, and you're having all types of these popular horror movie characters, and some of them just felt like why are they in there? Some of them, like The Fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer, which I haven't seen in a while, but, you know, from what I remembered of it, it was pretty decent, you know. I thought it was okay. I actually haven't seen it all the way through though, and it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. But when I seen it, it was there. It was all right. It wasn't bad. The only movie that I do own is I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, which I've heard a lot of bad things about. But you do have a lot of good or classic slashers in this movie or this documentary. You got Chucky, Tall Man, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Pinhead, Leatherface. You got Wishmaster. Now, when it comes to those slashers, then okay, those, you know, they deserve to be in this. Some of them I'm not really sure of why they're really in here. Films like I said, The Ugly. I'm not really sure why that movie's on here, and I'm not sure why Reanimator isn't on here, or why My Bloody Valentine isn't on here. Or, in my opinion, I liked Prom Night, the original Prom Night, so I'm not really sure why that's not on here either. There's a lot of movies that aren't on here that I thought if they were on here, it would have gave it a longer runtime, so it would have been better. But I do understand it is complicated to do this sort of stuff because of rights. You know, these are all different companies we're talking about. And luckily, most of them were actually the first movie. You know, because you got the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie, the first Hellraiser movie, the first Puppet Master movie, I believe the first, wasn't it the first Halloween? Yeah, it was the first Halloween. The first Wishmaster. You got a bunch of these companies, you know, coming together to make this, to be involved in this documentary. And it is a difficult thing to do. But the reason this isn't as good as it really should be is because, like I said, the runtime is 56 minutes long. You know, that's a very short documentary, and I think it should be at least 2-3 hours long. They should have had a lot more people on this. Granted, like I said, that would be difficult. It already is difficult to begin with 17, you know, characters, 17 slashers from different companies. That is difficult alone, but still, you know, it would be a little bit longer because the runtime was very, very fast. I mean, these clips they show are basically only like 3 or 4 minutes long each, so you're not really getting much in the clips. I mean, they're only 3 or 4 minutes, which is a cool idea. Basically, like I said, what it is basically a compilation of clips, some of the best clips from slasher films. films including Halloween, Child's Play 2, Jason Goes to Hell, which is weird because that is the mask from Part 3. As a matter of fact, that's the scene where dude's doing a handstand and Jason comes around and goes, "Duh!" That's that scene from Part 3, so I'm not really sure, of why they have that picture of Jason from Part 3, but they don't have the footage from Part 3. Maybe it was because of the whole rights thing, but yeah, you got Jason Goes to Hell, which is a good movie, but it was kind of like seeing Part 3 on the cover and getting Jason Goes to Hell. It was just kind of unexpected, which I'm a big fan of Jason Goes to Hell. I thought it was really well done. And it's extremely underrated. It's one of the most hated Friday the 13th movies out there. And I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of gore to it. It had a new idea, started something new, and granted, it was a very, different idea, a different approach to a Friday the 13th movie, but still, it was different. But you also, you got some good clips in there. You got the first Phantasm, Hellraiser, and also another thing that's missing from this documentary is the lack of features. Because you got a few themes. The best feature is the commentary by Robert Englund. It was a fun commentary. It was entertaining to listen to it. And it was a good commentary. And you've also got Name That Frame, with over 100 movie stills to test your knowledge. So that was an okay theme, I guess. I don't think I tried that yet. Theatrical trailers, which is actually a cool thing because they got trailers for every single movie on this list. That was a cool thing, I'll admit that too. But no interviews, no many behind the scenes talking about because what should have been done with this movie is show a clip and then show the filmmakers talking about it. It would have increased the runtime again because this was extremely short. But if you would have put some interviews in there, and it would have, at least made it a little bit longer. So that's what they should have done. They should have had it to where they showed the clip, have an interview, a few interviews with the director and the cast about the film, and then move on to the next clip. That would have been really good, but it's just, one clip, next clip, next clip. And you've also got Flicks Facts. You've also got Legends of the Boogeymen, which is pretty much, character bios talking about each character, each slasher in this documentary, which is also a pretty decent feature. But the big thing that's missing is the interviews and behind the scenes stuff. That would have been awesome. And I thought overall, as you guys can see, it's not a rant, because in my opinion, it wasn't that bad. It was a time waster to watch it. It's a fun idea. It's definitely an idea with a lot of potential behind it, but there was just a few things that needed to be fixed. Also, Pumpkinhead isn't in this. Yeah, Pumpkinhead isn't in this either. So I was wondering how films like The Dentist, which I want to see, and I've heard decent things about it. I want to see it, but The Dentist is in there, The Ugly's in there, and I'm like, so why isn't, Pumpkinhead in there? Why isn't Reanimator? Why isn't My Bloody Valentine in there? Or Prom Night, the original Prom Night? Or even Prom Night 2? In my opinion, that was a good sequel. But once again, the whole rights thing, maybe that was the issue. But, altogether it was kind of lackluster because all it is clips. And granted, you do get some good clips. You get basically the clip for Leatherface is the ending of the first movie where Leatherface is chasing Marilyn Burns down the street or down the road and then the hitchhiker character gets hit by a truck. And of course Leatherface does a dance with the chainsaw. It had that clip in there, was pretty good. And you had Puppet Master, the elevator scene where this dude gets pretty much his fingers cut off and gets killed by the puppets. Halloween was like pretty much the chasing at the end of the movie when Laurie's getting chased by Michael Myers. So the clips were decent. It was fun to watch it because the commentary was fun. The idea is fun. The idea is interesting. The idea has potential. But it was just, there's a lot of stuff missing from this movie. The runtime was fast. It was too fast. And not a lot of interviews and behind the scenes stuff. Would have been nice to have that. And also a little bit more features, because yes, those features are good. The commentary is good. You know, the facts, you know, the bios and stuff like that. Those are interesting. And also the actual trailers, you know, that's a pretty cool feature as well, to get a trailer for every single movie on the list. But it would have been also awesome if they could have had like a poster gallery, you know, go through all the posters of the movies. That would have been a fun, you know, thing as well. There was just, you know, I mean, it was there, it was decent, it's a time waster, watched it have a little bit of fun, you know, it's a fun idea, but it's just, there are some, you know, slashers in this movie that I'm not really sure why they're in there, you know, and I'm not really sure why there are other slashers in there. And this says here Volume 1, I think. Doesn't it say Volume 1? I thought it said, yeah, Volume 1. Right here. I think this is, yeah, I think this is the first volume. But I'm not really sure if it got us, you know, a second volume or not. Looked it up here on IMDb, but I'm not really seeing anything. This just popped up. So it says Volume 1 on the back of it, so let me check. So I checked before, but there's only one. Yeah, there's only one documentary, which I don't know. It says Volume 1, the special features, but I don't know. But it would have been cool if they had another documentary, you know, including some more slashers, because over the years we've gotten, you know, more and more slash films that's come out. And you had films like Laid to Rest, Hatchet, who introduced some new slashers, Victor Crowley and Chrome Skull, and Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, that was a slasher movie. The Collector, Saw, the Saw franchise. So there's been a lot of new slashers and slasher movies that's come out over the years. So, you know, to make a Volume 2, which I'm not really sure if they made, but if they would make a second documentary, I would say put more features in it, make it longer, and add some behind-the-scenes stuff and interviews, and it would be great. You add that in there, you make it about 3 or 4 hours long, with a lot of clips in there, and have, you know, a lot of slashers in there, and you add interviews and behind-the-scenes and posters, which they might have, because I'm not sure if this is all the features, but it pretty much gives you the main features, basically. So that might not be all the features, but still, that's the ones that are on there. But, and also to have commentaries by different people. Yes, the commentary of Robert Englund was fun. It was a really entertaining commentary. But also get people like, you know, if you would, because it was Jason Goes, have Kane Hodder do a commentary. Have Doug Bradley do a commentary. Have Warwick Davis do a commentary, because he was Leprechaun, and Leprechaun's in this. So add that. If they would make a second movie or a second documentary, add more people and make it a longer documentary, and give it more features. And if we got all that, that'd be perfect. At least to me, would. That would be a perfect documentary to watch. But without all that, without all the feature, without, you know, the interviews, and, you know, and granted, it does have features. It has a commentary. It has, you know, trailers and stuff like that, and facts and bios. But it doesn't really have any interviews and behind the scenes stuff. So to me, I can watch it. And also, that's a pretty cool poster. If you guys look back there on my wall of, you know, these sort of mini posters or DVD guides, but if you flip them over, it's a poster. You guys can see I got. It's probably hard to see it, but it's up there. I really enjoyed the poster. It's really a cool poster. You got, you know, all the slasher icons on there. Not all of them, but some of them. Cool poster, cool idea. It just should have had more to it. So yeah, overall, it's a time waster. It's fun to watch. It's a little bit of fun to watch, and yeah, just a time waster. It's okay. So yeah, thanks for watching my review on Boogeymen, the Killer Compilation, and I'll see you guys on the next review.